All right, everybody, here comes Edgy Kendra. I'm sorry, but I have to do this. We have got to clean up our act as employers. If you are in the process of hiring and getting ready to bring a candidate in the door and you're going to interview them, please, please do a good job. Oh my gosh, you can't believe the stories that we've been hearing recently. So, this is going to be for some of you a little bit maybe elementary, I hope. And for some of you, maybe eye-opening. And if it is, man, please, please consider getting some help with this because this stuff should not be happening. So, if you're getting ready to hire someone and you're bringing them in for an interview, please plan ahead. Think of the questions you really want to ask this candidate to make sure that they are a fit. No one, even me, who's interviewed thousands of people, can wing an interview. You've got to have questions thought out ahead of time, especially the ones around are they a culture fit or not. You also want to, of course, dive into their skill and their background, but that's a little bit easier usually to ask in an interview and listen for if they've got the skill or not. Culture fit, personality fit, team fit, absolutely. You cannot wing that. So plan ahead. And as you're planning ahead, also be thinking about what is your plan for ensuring that they have a good offer? Do you actually know what the market can offer? What your employer competitors are offering? Is your salary competitive? Are your benefits competitive? Get all of that done ahead of time so that you're not also just winging it in the interview. And then, second part here is, oh my gosh, please create a welcoming environment. You are being interviewed as much as you are interviewing them. And so create an environment where they feel like, yeah, I could work here. If you don't even have an office for them to have a decent interview in, that is not setting a good tone, okay? So make sure you've got a nice place to interview, you've got a thought out process, you are welcoming and warm. If you are the kind of employer, and I'm sorry for the edginess here, but if you are the kind of employer that thinks it's fun to put a candidate under a lot of stress and pressure and see how they respond in an interview, you are making a big mistake. I'm sorry. That is not a good way to go about interviewing somebody. If you've got them in a stressful situation, all of their mind goes into this narrow focus and they are not going to bring their full self to the table. And I promise you, you are not going to end up with a candidate that is going to be somebody you're going to work with down the road and you're not going to see results from them. They will likely quit, actually. So, what is the point of going through all that effort and creating that stressful environment? You want to start every interview off like this. Hi, I'm so grateful you're here today. I know this is a super stressful day for you, and I'm just really grateful you're here. And my whole goal for this interview is to get to know you and understand if you're a fit for us and if we're a fit for you. And if that's the case, it's going to be great. So, thank you for being here, and I'd love to know more about the arc of your career and, how does it fit in with this job that we have? Okay, do that. That's warm, it's welcoming. I promise it'll calm all the nerves down. And the more you can get the candidate to relax, the more likely they are to open up and actually share what they really need. And by the way, as you get these prepared questions out through the interview, you also want to ask them, what do you need from a job to be happy? Yes, they are in a symbiotic relationship with you. That means if they're happy, they're gonna get great results for you. What do they need? Oftentimes, what a candidate really needs from a job to be happy does align with what a culture can offer. And then oftentimes it doesn't. It doesn't make sense to bring in someone who needs something that you cannot provide. And so make sure you're having that conversation. And then finally, at the end of the interview, create a very welcoming goodbye. Thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate what you had to say about your background. Here's what I'm thinking as our next steps. I think that there's a couple things here that might not make you like this job, or there's a few things here that we really need in our next hire that you don't bring to the table and we're not in a spot to be able to train for it. Or I really enjoyed our time together. I really think there's a lot of possibility here. How did you feel? Let's both sleep on it and let's talk about it again tomorrow and see if there's additional questions that come up or on Friday or whatever, a reasonable time. And then if you do feel like you want to make them an offer, awesome. Make them an offer that you have again prepared. You already know that the salary is competitive. And then when they say yes, you start the process of onboarding, not orientation. Here's your badge, here's your desk, your computer, whatever, but actually onboarding. Here's what we expect for this role. What does a good outcome look like when you've been successful under these different pieces of the job description? You need to onboard them. And I know you're going to hate this, but it takes anywhere between 1 month to probably 6 months to onboard a new employee, depending on what the role is. Get over it. It's time spent now or it's time spent later re-engaging and really rehiring somebody. So just put the effort in. If you just throw them into the deep end of the pool and expect them to do really well, you're not going to get the great outcome. I promise you. Because no matter how amazing your hire is and how incredible their background is, they don't know your way, your systems, your customers. They don't know your employees. They don't even know where the bathroom is. Come on. So you've got to onboard them. And so you need to have a thoughtful plan. This does not take a lot of time to think through. What does it look like to onboard this employee? And you maybe want to assign a buddy or some other people on the staff to ensure that it happens. But this is how you get to a successful hire. Create a great welcoming environment for them through the interview process that's been well thought out and an awesome onboarding process. And I promise you, you're going to have a great employee that you start to see results from right away and that sticks around for a long time, which is great for customers, great for your team, great for morale, and really great for your bottom line. So do this right. All right. Thanks for putting up with me.